Hi, sixth graders. It's Miss Starkey. I thought I'd give you a little tour of my workspace, and I'd love to see your workspace if you want to send it to me. So here's my desk. Here's my one view of the park. There's Munchie Mouse going in the litter box. That might be disastrous. And here's my backyard. So this is where I do my work from home. So all the videos I make from home, and sometimes I'll teach from home. So just so you get an idea of what I do. All right. Guess what we're starting today? Long division. All right, and graph paper will always help you with long division. I want you to go to your packet that you got when you came in and picked up your materials, though, for right now. And grab out this sheet, okay? This is the sheet. It says long division, and it's front and back, okay? So you have this sheet. I'm going to have to make this a little bit smaller now. There we go. So I want you to have this sheet out right now, okay? All right, so we're going to start long division. And as you see, there are 5 steps for long division: divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down. You need to go through every one of those steps when you do a long division problem. We're doing traditional long division, not the, what do you call it, big 7 or partial quotient or anything like that. We're going to learn the traditional long division. You have to show your work on here, okay? All right, so let's start out pretty easy. If I have a number 6, I have a number 96 divided by 6. All right, so that's my problem. What you need to know is that 6 is called the divisor. That is the number that gets divided, okay? Or that number you're dividing by, not the number that gets divided. I meant the number you're dividing by. So number you divide by. In other words, if I'm putting things into groups, this might be the number of people in a group, or it might be the number of groups, okay? All right, the second one, the 96, is called the dividend. That's the number that's getting divided. Number that gets divided. Oops, my that and gets kind of went into one big word. That gets divided. Okay? So when you have a division problem, those are the 2 important things. If I say the divisor, I'm talking about the number that you're either putting into groups or the number of people in each group. If I'm talking about the dividend, I'm talking about the total. So if I were putting people into group, that would be the total number of students. I might put 6 in each group. And then your answer is called the quotient, okay? Any answer to a division problem is called the quotient. So we don't have an answer here yet, but I'm going to tell you it's the answer. Okay? All right, so we're going to divide that out. So just so you know the terminology as we go along. Quotient is the answer. Divisor is a number of how many times something goes, how many groups go that you have, or how many are in each group. And then that's the number that the whole that you're dividing. All right, so let's try this problem. So if I have 96 divided by 6, I'm literally going to write it as 96 divided by 6. Okay, that's how I'm going to write that. All right, you can never go into a number, or a number can't go into anything more than 9 times. 9 is the most you can go in. If it goes in 10 times, you didn't just use one number, okay? So in other words, if I'm looking at this problem, I'm just going to say how many 6s go into 9, not how many 6s go into 96. I don't know, my 6 times table is that big, maybe, okay? So I want to know how many times it'll fit in without going over, okay? It's not going to fit in evenly all the time, but I want to know how many times it fits without going over, okay? So I'm going to start with my first number. If 6 goes into 9, I'm going to start there. If 6 didn't go into 9, then I would take the first 2. But if I think about how many 6s would fit into 9, 1. Okay, that's my divide step. Okay, I'm going to scooch that over. So I'm dividing 9 by 6. How many 6s will fit into 9? I know it doesn't go in evenly, okay? But I do know that 1 can fit. And then I'm going to multiply. My second step is to multiply, and that's where I'm going to just take the 1 times 6. It goes directly under the number I'm using. Okay? So my multiply step was 1 times 6 is 6. It has to go directly under the 9 because I didn't use the 6 yet. okay? You got to be very careful you line these up. This 1 has to go over this 9 because that's the number I'm using. So the same thing here, just kind of pretend like that number's not there right now, okay? Now comes my subtract step. That's step number 3. I'm going to subtract. 9 take away 6 is 3. All right, the check step is very important. Your check step tells you that you have to check that your remainder here is less than your divisor, okay? If it is greater than the divisor, you didn't go in enough times here, okay? If I can't subtract the numbers, let's say that I said, I think 6 goes into 9 twice, and I would have had a 12, I can't subtract that, so then I know that I went in too many times, okay? All right, so my next step is to bring down. So I check, and I'm gonna bring down. All right, now I start all over again, okay? I'm done with this part. I don't even have to worry about that. So now I'm gonna start all over again with the divide step. How many 6s, they don't go into 3 because we did the problem, right? How many 6s go into 36, okay? So let's say that I can't remember that 6 times 6 is 36, and I'm gonna put a 5. I'm gonna use a pencil so I can erase it. If I said, okay, now it's my multiply, 5 times 6 is 30, subtract, I get a 6 remainder. My check step should help me to figure out that that's a 6. It's not less than that 6. It's equal to it, but it's not less than it. It has to be less than it, which means my 5 wasn't right. I was close. So let's make that a 6. Now I would say 6 times 6, oh, that's 36. And I subtract, and I get 0, okay? So really my quotient is 16, if I want to know my quotient. Now, if I want to check this problem, which you should always do with the division problem, all I have to do is multiply these numbers out. I was saying 96 divided by 6 was 16. If I do 16, if I go backwards, boom, times 6, I better get 96. I should have 3 numbers on this problem, no more. 6 times 6 is 36, carry my 3. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9. So I get 96. Bonus. All right, let's try another one. We're going to do it 8, 736 divided by 8. So a 3-digit divided by a 1-digit. Okay, again, dividend, divisor, whatever my answer is, quotient. So I say 736 divided by 8. Okay, now I'm going to look at this number. 8 does not go into 7. I'm going to put either a 0, sometimes it's good to put an X, or you can leave it blank. But that number, the next number that you do has to go over the 3. It didn't, there's nothing that worked with the 7. 8 can't fit into 7. So I'm going to go to 73. Now I'm going to say how many 8s go into 73. Remember, I can't go over 9. If I go over 9, that means I skipped this number, okay? So I'm going to say, my 8 times tables. 8 times 9 is 72, so that's pretty close, and I know I can't use a 10, so I'm going to use a 9. All right, so I would do 9 times 8, that's my multiply, is 72. Subtract, I'm on that step. I get 1. I'm going to check that 1 is less than 8. Bring down my next number. All right. Now you start all over again. So you're done when your remainder is 0 like this, and you don't have any more numbers to bring down. All right, so now I'm going to say 8 goes into 16. It doesn't go into 1. So how many 8s go into 16? 2 times 8 is 16. The other thing I want to mention is you cannot bring more than one number down at a time. That's why I put the arrows there. So I can't bring, let's say there was a 1 here. I can't bring both numbers down. Something can go in 0 times, but I can't bring more than one number down, okay? All right, let's try this one. I'll do an 11. So let's do 407 divided by 11. All right, so divide, that's my first step. 11 goes into 40. Three times. 3 times 11 is 33. Subtract. I get 7. Check. 7 is less than 11. Bring down. Start all over again. 11 goes into 77. 7 times. 7 times 11 is 77. 0 remainder. Nothing else to bring down. We are done with that problem. All right, you guys, I'm going to have you do this problem, okay? And again, when you do it on graph paper, it might be easier, so I'm going to do it on graph paper. So let's say that we have, let me find a good one, because I lost my thing. Let's say 9 goes into, and I'm going to use one box for each thing, 3,033. Okay? So we're going to try that one. I want you to try that one right now. I'm going to give you a few seconds to do that and answer the Ed puzzle, and then we're going to come back in a second and do this problem, and we'll see how you did. Okay? I'll see you in a sec. All right, you guys, welcome back. All right, so let's do this problem. Let's get this done. So my first step, 9 doesn't go into 3, so I can't use anything above the 3, okay? I put an X there. When you use decimals, you're going to have to put a 0, but just a 0 would be fine. You just know that you cannot put anything over that number, okay? So I'm going to go to 30. 9 does fit into 30. How many times? Well, 3, because 3 times 9 is 27. So I would do 3 times 9 is 27. Subtract. Borrow there. I get 3. 3 is less than 9, so I'm in good shape. That's my check step. I'm going to bring down the next number. Again, I can't bring down more numbers. So let's say that was a 0 remainder, and I wanted to bring down this 3, and I said 9 goes into 3. It doesn't. Then I'd have to put a 0 up there, okay? So don't let that fool you. So let's bring down a 3. Now I'm going to start all over again with my divide step. 9 goes into 33. Well, I know 9 times 3 was 27. I know 9 times 4 is 36. 36 would be too many, so I got to go with 3 again. Then I'm going to multiply. 3 times 9 is 27. Subtract. I'm going to borrow. 13 minus 7 is 6. See how I'm lining everything up? You have to do that. All right, my check step, 6 is less than 9. Yay, we did it right. So I'm going to bring down the next number, which is a 3. Start all over again. So I keep going back to divide until I have a 0 remainder and no more numbers to bring down. So this should be my last time, which kind of gives you a big hint that that will go in evenly right now because we're not doing decimals yet. So 9 goes into 63, okay? 7 times, this is why you need to know your times tables. 7 times 9 is 63. And I get a 0 remainder. So you should have got the answer, 337. All right, you guys have the homework sheet, which is in your packet. It's also on a Cami worksheet online. So if you don't want to do it on here, which I really like you to do it on your packet, but if you don't have your packet yet, then do it on the Cami. You have to show your works. So if you do it on here, when you submit it to me, you're going to have to send a picture with it so that I know you did it without a calculator, because we're not using calculators quite yet. Well, at all, actually. All right. And it gives you the steps, kind of blurry right now, sorry. It gives you the steps right there on the paper to help you along. So if you want to put a check mark next to it every time you do, that might be a good idea. So these all go in evenly. If they don't, you made a mistake somewhere, just go back and check it, okay? All right, you guys have a fabulous day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.